Did you know that Boston, despite being only the 23rd largest city in the United States, has the 3rd largest Chinatown? That's right, only New York's and San Francisco's are larger. But the continued increase in housing costs, redevelopment and gentrification is threatening Boston's historic and vibrant Chinatown.
You know, people are being pushed out of the neighborhood, are being priced out of the neighborhood because of rising rent, rising housing cost. Mainly because there's been an influx of luxury development in and around Chinatown. After all these luxury towers have been built, really put Chinatown in a shadow.
Community organisations have made it their mission to protect and preserve Boston's Chinatown and its people.
We have a lot of struggle to make sure that we maintain a community, and we have involved in a lot of different process to make sure that, you know, Chinatown stays Chinatown, and you know, that includes making sure that in the development process, residents' voice are taken into consideration. Chinese Americans, I think, like you know, other immigrant groups, there's a history of inequality that's, you know, systematic, that's institutional, and that's why we, you know, work to fight for full equality.
Boston attracts many Chinese immigrants to its Chinatown, but also to the city's many prestigious universities and colleges. In fact, Boston ranks 3rd in the US when it comes to its number of foreign students, with Chinese students making up the majority.
Going into Harvard, it was just a huge game changer for me. All of a sudden, people were interacting with each other, no matter based on race, based on ethnicity. There was no divide, which was very refreshing, and the Chinese culture here is very celebratory. So people are not afraid to showcase their identity. People are not afraid to speak Chinese freely, or even just and bring other people into the culture as well.
It's really this type of community where anybody that wants to be involved and to learn about the Chinese culture is very much embraced. And I think this organization itself has definitely been one of the most positive experiences for me on campus, because it's really taught and shown me how big an impact culture can play on one's life. And these Chinese students are able to explore a Western culture that perhaps they're not as familiar with. And even speaking from my end, I think having been raised in a Western environment in California, the culture there's definitely a divide between the Eastern culture and the Western culture, and I think learning from that culture itself is definitely something that's very enriching.
And whether it's the many Chinese students in the Boston area or Asian tourists, the city's historic Chinatown is ready to roll out the welcome mat.
When I first came here, adjusting to the American life wasn't easy, but I found a lot of comfort, in Chinatown, in the Chinatown community. We're working so hard to make sure that Chinatown will be here, in the long term. Not just, this buildings and structure, but the people, who want to be part of this community, who identify this as part of the community, will have a community.